Let's be honest. Life can feel like a constant tug-of-war. There are moments of joy and peace, but then there are days, even weeks, where it feels like we're being dragged down by worry, fear, and uncertainty. We're bombarded with news that leaves us feeling helpless, relationships strain under the weight of unspoken burdens, and our own internal struggles seem insurmountable. It's in these moments that the question arises, echoing in the depths of our souls: what happens when we put everything in God's hands? Do we find ourselves tossed about, at the mercy of a chaotic universe, or is there a strength, a steadfastness, that anchors us even in the storm? We've all heard the promises whispered in Scripture, the assurances that God is our refuge, our strength, our ever-present help. But how do we truly live these promises? How do we step beyond the intellectual understanding and embrace the reality of divine protection, not as a theoretical concept, but as a tangible experience in our daily lives? This isn't about naive faith or ignoring the realities of the world around us. It's about acknowledging the weight of our burdens, the anxieties that gnaw at our hearts, and then taking a radical step, surrendering them to a power far greater than ourselves. It's about trusting that even when we don't understand the why behind our struggles, God's love and purpose are guiding us through the darkness. We're going to explore this concept together, digging deep into the Scriptures, sharing honest testimonies of God's faithfulness, and discovering the power that comes from surrendering our burdens to His loving care. Get ready to let go, to trust, and to experience the liberating peace that comes from knowing you are never truly alone. Let's embark on this journey together, and see what happens when we truly put everything into God's hands. Think about the stories of ancient heroes, of individuals who faced impossible odds, giants they couldn't defeat with their own strength, enemies far more powerful than themselves. What was their secret weapon? Their trust in a higher power, a divine intervention that tipped the scales in their favor. They didn't rely on brute force or their own limited abilities, but they called upon a source of strength beyond human comprehension. This isn't just a historical narrative, it's a timeless principle woven into the very fabric of our existence. When we surrender our burdens to God, we're not simply relinquishing control, we're aligning ourselves with a power that transcends our understanding. Imagine a mighty oak, its roots firmly planted in the earth, its branches reaching towards the heavens. The wind may howl, the storm may rage, but the oak stands tall, unyielding, because its strength comes from something deeper than the elements that batter it. In the same way, when we trust in God, we tap into a wellspring of unwavering strength, a source of power that sustains us even when the world around us feels chaotic and unpredictable. Now, consider how this applies when you face a seemingly insurmountable challenge. A health crisis, a financial hardship, a relationship strained to its breaking point. Any of these situations can leave us feeling overwhelmed, powerless, even hopeless. However, when we surrender these burdens to God, we're not simply hoping for a miracle, we're engaging in a spiritual exchange, a transfer of power that shifts our perspective and empowers us to face our struggles with newfound courage and resilience. It's like stepping onto solid ground after wading through a treacherous storm. Think about the power of a whisper, a seemingly insignificant sound that can echo through a vast cathedral, resonating in the hearts of countless listeners. It's the same with our prayers, those quiet expressions of faith, surrender, and trust. They may seem small, even insignificant in the face of our challenges, but they carry a weight, a power that transcends the physical realm. When we surrender our burdens to God, we're not simply voicing our concerns, we're opening a channel of communication, a direct line to the source of all power and love. Imagine a dam holding back a raging river. The pressure is immense, threatening to break through at any moment. But if we release the floodgates, allowing the water to flow freely, we're not surrendering to the chaos, we're harnessing its power, channeling it towards a constructive purpose. Similarly, when we allow our burdens to flow into God's presence, we're not giving in to defeat, we're tapping into a reservoir of divine strength that can transform our struggles into opportunities for growth, healing, and renewal. This isn't about ignoring the reality of our pain, but about acknowledging its existence and allowing God to walk alongside us, to share the weight of our burdens and to guide us through the darkness. Now, consider the power of a seed buried deep within the earth. It seems insignificant, almost lifeless, tucked away in the darkness. Yet, within that tiny package lies the potential for a magnificent tree, its branches reaching towards the sun, its roots anchoring it firmly to the ground. When we surrender our burdens to God, we're planting those seeds of faith, trusting that He will nurture them, even in the seemingly barren soil of our struggles. He will provide the nourishment, the sunlight, and the rain that will allow them to blossom into something beautiful and enduring. Think about a sculptor chipping away at a block of marble, revealing the masterpiece hidden within. It's a slow, painstaking process, requiring immense patience and precision. In a similar way, when we surrender our burdens to God, He begins the work of refining us, shaping us into the image of His likeness. He doesn't shy away from the difficult tasks, He uses our challenges to chisel away at our imperfections, to reveal the strength, resilience, and beauty that lies within us. Let's face it, sometimes letting go feels like a leap of faith, a step into the unknown. It can be terrifying to relinquish control, to surrender to a power greater than ourselves. But remember, God's love isn't a distant force, it's a constant companion, a beacon of hope that guides us through the darkest nights. He is the anchor in the storm, the unwavering presence that sustains us even when we feel lost and alone. Now, consider the vastness of the ocean. Its depths are immeasurable, its currents unpredictable, its power awe-inspiring. Yet, even in the midst of this immense power, there are tiny creatures that thrive, that find shelter and sustenance within its embrace. These creatures, though seemingly insignificant, are perfectly adapted to their environment, navigating the waters with grace and resilience. Similarly, when we surrender our burdens to God, we're not simply tossing them into the void. We're entrusting them to a power that is both vast and intimate, a love that is both all-encompassing and deeply personal. Within that love, we find a sanctuary, a place of refuge where we can weather the storms of life, where our anxieties and fears can be gently calmed, and where our wounded spirits can be healed. This isn't about becoming passive or complacent. It's about recognizing that God's strength is not a replacement for our own, but a resource that empowers us to live more fully, more courageously, and more authentically. Think of a seasoned sailor navigating treacherous waters. He doesn't simply sit back and wait for the storm to pass, he charts a course, adjusts his sails, and steers his ship with skill and determination. But even the most experienced sailor knows that he needs more than just his own strength to weather the storm. He needs the support of his crew, the protection of his vessel, and the guiding hand of the wind. Now, consider the resilience of a wildflower. It sprouts amidst cracks in the pavement, pushing through tough soil and competing with towering trees for sunlight. It thrives in seemingly impossible conditions, blooming with vibrant color and tenacity. This humble flower exemplifies the power of perseverance, of finding strength and beauty even in the midst of hardship. When we surrender our burdens to God, we tap into that same resilience. God doesn't promise to magically erase our problems, He equips us to face them with unwavering courage and a spirit of unwavering hope. Think of a mountain climber scaling a sheer cliff face. Every step is a challenge, a test of strength and determination. But with each upward movement, the climber gains a new perspective, a wider view of the world stretching before them. Similarly, when we surrender our burdens, we ascend to a higher plane of understanding, a vantage point from which we can see beyond our immediate struggles and glimpse the grand tapestry of God's plan unfolding around us. Reflecting on this journey so far, we've delved into the depths of surrender, exploring its transformative power in our lives. We've examined the ancient wisdom of trusting in a power beyond our own, recognizing that true strength lies not in our own limited abilities but in our connection to something infinitely greater. Like a sculptor meticulously shaping a masterpiece, God works within us, refining our experiences, even the painful ones, into something beautiful and enduring. He doesn't shy away from the rough edges, he embraces them, understanding that it is through these imperfections that true authenticity emerges. We've witnessed the resilience of the wildflower, blooming amidst hardship, and the unwavering hope of the mountain climber, scaling seemingly insurmountable heights. These images, though disparate, converge upon a central theme: the extraordinary potential that lies dormant within us, waiting to be unleashed by the power of surrender. Now, as we stand at the precipice of a profound realization, imagine a vast canvas, blank and waiting. This is the landscape of your life, a masterpiece yet to be painted. The colors, the textures, the very strokes that will bring this canvas to life, are already within you. But they require the touch of a higher hand, a guiding force that can transform the raw materials of your experiences into a symphony of beauty, resilience, and purpose. Imagine a vast symphony, each instrument playing its part, weaving together a tapestry of sound both intricate and harmonious. Within that symphony, your voice holds a unique place, a melody that contributes to the richness and depth of the whole. But sometimes, we hesitate to sing our song, afraid of discord, unsure of our place within the grand composition. We doubt our own melody, convinced it's too quiet, too simple, or perhaps too jarring to fit within the orchestra. But here's the truth: God longs to hear your song. He craves the unique expression of your spirit, the unfiltered honesty of your heart. When we surrender our burdens, we're not simply relinquishing control, we're opening ourselves to a deeper connection, allowing our hearts to resonate with the divine symphony unfolding around us. Think of the ancient practice of contemplative silence. Not a silence of emptiness, but a space of receptive listening, a surrender to the whispers of the divine within. It's in these moments of stillness that we truly hear our own song, the melody God has placed upon our souls. And as we sing, with courage and vulnerability, we join the celestial chorus, enriching the grand symphony of creation. The true practice begins now. Listen for the whispers of your own soul, the melody that yearns to be expressed.
If this message is touching your heart right now, imagine how much deeper your prayer life could go. Discover the secrets to powerful, consistent prayer and true connection with God. Click the link below and get your copy of Walking with God, a guide to a life of constant prayer. It's time to pray with purpose.